to the Sports You Podcast,
Oh, man. Is that what I think it is, Robbie?
episode 45.
45 of them things in the books.
45 means that we have to do something special, and that is the soundboard. And that's the only bad part about this. That's the only bad part about this one is that it doesn't go as fast. Like, you know how it's like.
Hey, we're trying to make
you can't.
it work.
Yeah, you can't really do that one fast. I'm gonna
make it
stop blowing your guys' ears off now. Gifting episode 45. Let's get into it, right?
Yes, sir.
What we like to do here right now, we're gonna do a little bit of a different format. Hopefully it sticks. I think it's gonna actually work and keep some more attention and give you guys some more stories, actually. So let's start it off with the headlines here, right, Gifton?
Yes, sir. So the first thing we got, what were you doing on the day of Kobe Bryant's last game?
Man, because it's so crazy now just because you didn't think that his life was going to end like that. You don't really know what you don't have until it's gone.
Right.
And not only is he gone in literal sense, like out of this world, which is insane, but he leaves back a huge legacy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, you know, it sucks that, you know, people couldn't treasure him while he was still here, especially with the type of injury that he had as well. You know, I feel like we have a lot more advanced technology when it comes down to it.
Right.
So all this to say, I was one of the guys who was watching the Warriors make history. I didn't see this game being that big of a deal.
You hear this guy? You hear this guy, America?
Hindsight is 2020. I am very upset with myself. I would trade anything in the world to watch all that happen. I did watch the end of it because the Warriors are already gonna win. I could tell, but yeah, sadly to say, I remember being in my dorm room, watching it with all my with my college buddies, and I remember there was one Laker fan, and he was just like, dude, you guys are idiots. You guys are missing out. The greatest thing. And then he kept on coming into the room. He's dropping 35. He dropped 40. He dropped 45.
Oh,
Bro, he's going for 60.
wow.
Bro, it was insane because
No
we were watching
way.
something else. So it was just a wonderful day, and that's what I was doing. That's what I was doing during Kobe's last game there.
Yeah, wow.
So I had updates, and I watched the end of it. I watched the speech. Feel like hopefully the important things. I watched the last shot, and
that was so crazy.
you know, amazing, man. You couldn't write anything better.
Nope.
You know, except for Dear Basketball. That's amazing. But Gifton, where were you for Kobe Bryant's last game?
I just got out of school, and I remember specifically telling my mom, pick me up immediately after school. I gotta go home and watch this. And I remember watching it with and it made it kind of like, it was like sweeter because like I think my dad was home. I remember I was watching it with somebody. I feel like it was my dad because I hear his voice when I think back to that day. And like, cause he's a big Laker fan. Shout out Pops.
Shout out Pops.
Man, bro. And I remember we were just watching it, and he dropped 60, and you just see. And I remember the moment at the end when he was hugging Larry, D'Lo, and I think it was Jordan Clarkson at the end.
Yeah.
And I was just like, damn, man, like this is really it. Like the dude who everybody tried to model their game after. Everybody bought a pair of shoes. I bought his shoes when he was with Adidas and Nike. Like,
Yup.
man.
Hey, man. Whenever somebody shoots something in the trash can, they don't say Jordan. They don't say LeBron. They say Kobe. Every time. And
Every
so
time.
you could just tell what the type of influence he had on everybody. It's just amazing the type of influence that one can have on so many people, especially in one centralized area. And then to have that same like feeling across like even into like China and stuff. He was like huge over there.
He was a megastar in China. Mega.
We had a whole bunch of people, you know, speaking of the college days or whatever, you know, that were transferring in, and all their favorite players was Kobe. So they would play with the Lakers and literally just play with Kobe the entire time when we were playing 2K. But, we brought that up just because that was the anniversary just the other day, and we definitely wanted to speak upon it, right?
No,
and then DeMar DeRozan was even saying, like, this was like an Avengers movie. Like, you always knew who was going to win at the end. You know what I mean? You know, there's superheroes involved. Like, ungodly things are happening, man. And
Yeah,
he
definitely.
did that.
Definitely.
It was an amazing moment.
It was definitely
Definitely. Hey, let us.
crazy experience.
That was a great discussion. I love that. Hopefully we can start like other things like that too
Yeah.
when it comes to the episodes. But leave us a comment about where you guys were when it was Kobe's last game there.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
On to the next one though, Gifton.
Yeah, man, I kind of hate to stay on because like it wasn't bad news, but like it's just bad that like he's really not here with us. So to stay on a bad thought, Jamal Murray recently tore his ACL the other day.
Oh,
They were on fire. Shout out Hefe because he mentioned it. They were like 6-0 after the Aaron Gordon trade, and then to take a big blow like this, it's just terrible to hear, man.
yeah. No, that's what's crazy about it. You know, like we were talking about it throughout the whole entire season that these Nuggets, they're gonna take that next step. They need to because they need to blow it up and they need to figure something out to
Right.
get somebody next to Jokic, or choose between Jokic and somebody else. It feels like bro, you can only just be in that same spot for so long. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they would have to take like drastic changes after this, and then now it's kind of put on hold because Jamal Murray's down, so they don't have their full potential right there. So Jamal Murray going down isn't only bad and horrible for the Nuggets, but it's terrible for Jamal Murray.
It is.
This type of injury doesn't seem like it was as bad as it was like 3, 4, 5 years ago. Of course.
Oh no.
Like literally, people are coming back in
No.
9 months. And like the only thing is that you're never the same when you come back immediately.
Right.
But then after that,
You start to
become
gain your rhythm.
exactly. And so that's the only terrible part about it, is that we get to lose out on Jamal Murray. Everybody's talking about what he's able to do for the playoffs and everything. I'm just so sad again, man. Keeping it sad again. You got me in the same mood still.
I didn't mean
Very
to do it, man.
empathetic.
I'm sorry.
Very empathetic right now, and it's tough.
It is.
You're thinking about just taking that next step as a Nuggets squad. All the great teams do it. They're always tested, battle tested through maybe even the same team. What if it is the Lakers again?
Right.
What if they got beaten again, and then after that they were able to take over the Western Conference because they're so young?
They are.
And then Jokic gets his MVP this year. If it looks like that in the standings, I think it's still Damian Lillard. But again, I'm just so torn about this. No pun intended, but torn about this ACL.
Nah, yeah, this one hurt. This was a big blow because like I felt like the West is up in the air and the East is. I said Brooklyn was coming out the East now, but after today, yeah, both spots is up in the air, bro.
Yeah.
And they were a heavy contender. They were not a favorite, but they were like, if they got in the Western Conference Finals, I wouldn't be surprised.
Let's see if this is a good one here.
Hello from the cockpit. This is your captain speaking. As you can see, it appears that we are going
this
down.
is
Now would
the
be a good
Nuggets
time
right
to
now.
reflect on your life and pray to whatever deity you
We're trying
believe
out a
in.
new soundboard
Thank you
here.
for flying Shitty Airlines. We know you have a choice in airlines,
They on the
and it looks
shitty
like you
airlines.
made the
They're
wrong
going
one.
Shitty
straight
airlines.
down. No, I don't think they're going straight down, despite what the soundboard is. We're trying these new things out. They have weird different names on them, but no, I don't think they're going straight down. But
Oh no,
it's going to provide more opportunities for the other guys. We definitely have some other things to get to, but I think that's the biggest thing to really look out for. I don't really think they're contending anymore because they lost Jamal Murray. They're not going to take a step forward anymore. It's a lost season now.
Nah, like they're kind of just like standing in place and throwing punches at this point.
I mean, I hope they can do better, but hey,
Yeah,
you
we'll see.
got other contenders in there, and I think
it's,
they're better.
it's not like I mean, if they were down like him and like Will Barton and like Jokic, yeah, I'd be like, oh shit, this is terrible. But I
Yeah.
mean, I Jokic can step up. I know Jokic can do it, so we'll see.
It gives other people more opportunity, like you're
Right.
mentioning, and Jokic is one to distribute. So even if you give more touches to Jokic, guess what? He's going to be able to distribute.
Exactly.
Let's get on to the next one, though. I
We
like to
got
bring this one up.
power rankings.
Yes, sir. The power rankings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna talk about the first 5 here. I'm just gonna name them out. Once I name them out, I'm gonna go ahead and have Gifton answer first. Who do you believe is in the right spot? And then who would you like to be replaced with and why? So let's start off with the first 5 here. We have the Suns.
Okay.
We have the Utah Jazz
But I mean, okay.
at number 2. We have at number 3 the Nets.
Okay.
Number 4, we got the Denver Nuggets, the people that we just talked about. I
Fair.
think this
That's
power
fair.
rankings was before the injury.
Oh,
So the injury
okay.
happened, and it might be a little bit different, of course, but depending on if they continue to win, usually the power rankings stay the same if they continuously win. And I don't think they're going to lose, but when it really matters, that's what power rankings are for. It really looks at the record, not really of the whole team as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the Clippers at 5. So you have Suns, Utah, the Nets, Denver, the Clippers at number 5. Gifton, who do you believe belongs in there, and who do you want to replace?
Okay, so the Suns were number 1 for sure. Utah number
I agree.
2.
So I just want to say I agree.
No,
So
go ahead.
I want to get that out of the way.
Yeah.
That let's not talk about the Suns because I actually want to talk about a cool story. Maybe not this episode, but the next one because they're great right now, and I want to talk about them.
Red hot.
We've been talking a little bit about Devin Booker and Chris Paul, but I want to talk about Cameron Johnson,
Jake
Payne,
Crowder, Cameron Payne,
everybody.
Mikal Bridges.
Yeah, we need that. But go ahead.
Okay, so definitely agree with Phoenix. Utah, okay. I mean, they're still proving it. The Nets, third, that's fine. I would put the Clippers above Denver. I actually have Denver in 6 now, knowing what I know about Jamal Murray.
Mm-hmm.
So I put Denver in 6, the Clippers 4th, the 76ers 5th, and then the Denver 6th.
Okay, so I think this is kind of an easy one. I think at this point, especially if you're considering with these power rankings, Jamal Murray was still playing. You know what I mean? So
right.
I think Denver should stay in that 1 through 5 spot. I think now it's easier to say, hey, let's take Denver out because they have that loss in Jamal Murray and then get the 76ers in there because I've been wanting the 76ers in there a lot.
And they just beat Brooklyn today. So
they just beat Brooklyn today, but Kevin Durant's on the bench.
It doesn't matter.
In crunch time, they have Kyrie on the bench too, so it's not like they're really trying, it feels like. And it's so weird. Why wouldn't you want to play that game? But, hey, a lot of people who like to play mind games or not like to play their cards, it's like a poker game type stuff. You don't want to get practice against dealing with these kinds of guys. So, anyway, I think Utah should be placed a little bit lower here. I'm not really.
Why?
I think people are just kind of looking at these guys and they're not really scared of them still, and
Like
they
a
just
fat kid in
continue-
the candy store, right?
They just can. Yeah, they see it, they want it. You look like it has potential, but you can't get it because you don't have the money or something like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's. I know you're hyperbole the fat kid in candy store, he's gonna enjoy himself. That's what other people are looking at him. I'm just saying that's what the Utah Jazz are like. They're in this. They have all this potential. They're putting it out and they're doing it. And it's just now they just got to prove in the playoffs. So it's it's all false until you actually prove it in the playoffs.
Right.
And I think if they get to the conference championship, then they'll be able to be okay, we're actually a good team. But if they get to the finals, then it's just okay, that permanent. We're a team to reckon with now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think that they can be lower because I respect the Clippers so much. I think the Clippers, with the addition of Rajon Rondo, should be above Utah. The Suns, of course, we just said at number 1. The Nets can stay. I would rather change Utah and the Clippers, and I would have kept Denver at number 4, but for the sake of the injury part, I would want the 76ers to get into that number 4 spot. Now,
agreed.
Why do they jump Utah? Because I think that Joel Embiid can just destroy.
I believe
Rudy
in
Gobert.
Philly more than I believe in
Ben
Utah.
Simmons can destroy
42 on him.
Rudy Gobert.
42, and he's number 1 in defensive player of the year ratings.
Yeah. So, do you have it? Oh, you already kind of said what you had to say here. You have the 76ers at number 6.
Yep.
The Bucks at number 7. And number 8, we have the Mavericks. At number 9, the Heat. And at number 10, the Lakers. Those are the last ones that are kind of rounding out. We know why the Lakers are so low. We know why, the 76ers, the Bucks are a little bit low because you can't trust them in any type of way right now, it feels like. But, I don't know, man. They're playing very well with each other. They're getting that chemistry.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Anything to top it off?
I would put the Heat above the Mavs only because I know the Heat can get it done in crunch time and they can get it done in the playoffs. And they're always going to stick to their play, stick to their formula no matter what the situation is. And they're Miami is grit. If everything fails, if everything blows up, and their back is against the wall, they are going to dig it out regardless.
Yeah, we just lost to the Suns literally today, and it wasn't because we weren't playing well. It was we weren't shooting well. We literally shot like 36.
Right.
I mean, 8 of like 30,
And-
like 44.
and-
I mean, real quick, because just to give him some help, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and I think it was Bridges. They only got like 7 shots of like 30, I think it is. So they weren't shooting well either, so they outlasted us. So that just kind of says how good the Suns are.
Right.
But I mean, we weren't making our shots, but we could definitely, if we were making some, we would have been in that game too.
And that was the thing that I wanted to point out. Like, Miami stick to their script. They stick to their scheme when they're trying to win a game. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I trust Miami sticking to their script more than I trust Milwaukee and the Mavericks sticking to their script trying to win a game.
I feel it. Let's talk about the Suns real quick, though.
Talk to me.
We got another headline here. Chris Paul moves to 5th in career in steals, above the all time when it comes to the NBA.
Shout out Chris Paul.
I'm going to ask you again, did Chris Paul deserve to get an All-Star bid this year? Number 1 seed. He said he didn't.
No.
Oh, he's holding on to it. Well, let me just say this much about Chris Paul. This guy's a leader. Plays both ends of the court like a superstar.
Yes. At his age.
I've seen him D up Kevin Durant in the playoffs and actually make a little bit of a difference. It's KD. He's going to still drop some fucking money on you. But what I'm saying is that
it's
he
like
was able
playing
to make a
chess when
difference.
they're guarding each other.
He's just I agree with you, and he's just an amazing player, very cerebral. Man, I hope that he coaches one day.
Oh, man, I'd love to see it, bro.
Yeah, I would like to see that
it.
shit. But Gifton, what do you have to say about him and his accomplishment?
Oh, man, Chris Paul, man. Say whatever you want about him, bro. Love him, hate him. He is the point god, the greatest man to, I don't want to say never do it because you never know, but, what if he won this year, bro?
Mid-range specialist.
What if he won
3-point
this year? That was just
guy in the fourth quarter.
like he was already going to the Hall of Fame, but he would be a first about immediate Hall of Famer after that if he won this year. Excuse me.
No worries. Yeah, no, is he a? Because think about it.
Okay.
Maybe go ahead.
Steph, it was real, bro. But I think I would have changed my MVP pick, man.
Don't tell who.
I think I'm gonna double with you on. Actually, I think I'm gonna take Jokic. I think this is Jokic's year.
You gonna change too?
Yeah, I'm changing to Jokic.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I don't change for shit.
Dude,
I usually
hold on,
my
because
heels.
Stephen Curry's been out there like that.
He has, man, but I feel
You
like
wild.
with Jokic with Jamal Murray going down, we're about to see another level of Jokic just come out.
Why didn't you say that during the Jamal
Because
Murray
I didn't think he would fucking tear his ACL.
No, why didn't you say that during that part?
Oh, my bad, America. Damn.
All right, let's get into the next one here, though. Jayson Tatum. He had COVID this year. Like a lot of other players on the Celtics, they had some injuries, they had some setbacks, and they are where they are right now. But Jayson Tatum is in full form, hit a game or dagger the other day, and now he says that he's been fully healed from his COVID kind of situation, but he's still, what does he do, Gifton?
He has to use an inhaler now.
Which is
very interesting because, one, asthma is nothing to fuck with. I grew up with that shit. That shit was, it's like getting sucker punched, bro, and you never expect it.
Yep.
Oh, it's so terrible. Like, you're just running in PE, and all of a sudden you're like, that shit's terrible, bro. Trust. I was that fat kid running laps, bro. Miss Jeannie, please, I gotta sit down. Like, bro, that shit used to be rough, no, bro. Fire season used to fuck me up, bro.
Yeah, man,
for
it's tough.
real. But yeah, man. I mean, COVID is no joke, man. Continue to wear your mask and wash your ass,
man. I had it
too.
At certain days, it was tough.
He didn't give it to me, though.
If I'm a professional athlete, I am not exercising. I wasn't eating very well.
No.
You don't really feel like eating because nothing tastes very good.
Right.
So first of all, he's being drained by an actual like virus.
Yep.
Let's just think about it first and foremost. He loses time in playing so he can stay in actual shape. He's not eating right, so his body can actually be fueled.
Right.
And then of course you have like the whole thing of his body breaking down from a virus that's actually killing people. Yep. Let's give these guys a break, like we should have done with Cam Newton, or at least I didn't. But let me tell you this much: Jayson Tatum is a dog. He's a star. This team went out. They got some, Evan Fournier's not amazing.
They didn't do shit, Robbie. Quit dancing.
I understand.
They didn't do shit.
What I'm trying to say is that he's actually in full form and he's been performing. And I've been a really big Jayson Tatum fan. And I think that he can easily lead this team because I think that he's been there. He's been there since he was a rookie in the conference champion. I think that he can definitely lead this team the way that he just did it the other night. It was really nice to watch him do what he did.
Yeah.
Does he make some turnovers? Does he make some mistakes? Yes.
Yeah, I'm not killing him for the.
It feels like he has no excuses now, and he's been pulling up.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? That it? You just want to talk about your inhaler stories and amuse me because I love it.
Hey, fuck you. Inhaler stories. I could have died, asshole.
I could have died.
Could have died, dickhead.
But what do you think the Celtics are going to do something with this new revitalized Jayson Tatum?
Where are they at right now? 8th?
I don't know. Probably 8th, yeah.
That ain't doing shit. All right. Andre Drummond's nickname used to be the Big Penguin back in the day. Robbie, talk to me.
Oh, well, hold on. Why you got to introduce it like that?
Because fuck the Celtics. Who cares?
All right, so this is a little bit weird. It is kind of a headline, I guess. This is more of like the comedy part, but it's all right because it's not that funny. I said it's a gifting, and I was like, oh, this is kind of dry. But anyway, apparently Andre Drummond's name or nickname is Big Penguin. Now, apparently Bron says, he said, Bron came up to me one day and said, is your nickname Big Penguin? And I said, man, I don't know where that came from. But all I know is somebody must have found out that I like penguins. So he likes penguins, so we call him Big Penguin. Do you like Andre Drummond's?
He calls him Big Penguin.
Nickname Big Penguin.
He calls him Big Penguin. There's only one penguin.
You know what I'm gonna call? Do you think I'm gonna call him Big Penguin?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, that's thing kind of. It's not that loud. I mean, you should make it a little bit louder.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit louder for y'all.
Just a little bit.
I want to be in that ear.
Let's blow them eardrums up.
Blow them up.
Blow them up.
Hold up. Yeah. So, yeah, I definitely will be calling him the Big Penguin because I think he just waddles around. He's not that good. Do I see him making a big difference?
Fuck you, he's not that good. He just had a double-double.
Real quick.
He's a double-double machine.
Put the camera on me real quick. I was just saying this, and we were actually wanting to give Frank Vogel his flowers. This should lead into our actual next headline. It's probably down here, but I want to get into it now. This guy, Andre Drummond, is going to look like playoff Roy Hibbert when he was with the Indiana Pacers. Getting offensive rebounds, making a difference on the boards. I know that's like basically the same thing, but there's also a defensive rebounding aspect. So he's going to be giving you extra possessions. You're going to be giving LeBron James extra possessions, and then he doesn't have to work to get rebounds as much because you have two bigs in there.
Right.
All I have to say is I would feel like LeBron is one of the best like half-court players in the game, and he can play and make off of that as well. It's fairly easy to get people set up in their spots, you know what I mean, when it comes to what he's able to do with two big men like that. So Frank Vogel is leading a very good defensive team in the Lakers, right?
Yes.
Now they just added Andre Drummond. When I'm saying, look at Roy Hibbert, what was he when he left? Now think of Andre Drummond as he joins this championship team, and then guess what? Frank Vogel is going to be able to put this man in his system to become, I'm guessing, Roy Hibbert 2.0. Especially in the playoffs.
Hey, because Roy Hibbert in the playoffs, man. When it used to be that dream team lineup.
And then you're going to hear me on this like, the Big Penguin. He real slimy. He's wet.
Ew,
Come on, man.
Pause. Robbie,
not like that, but.
Robbie. This is a sports show.
Real quick.
This is a sports show.
Let's get into the next one. Frank Vogel leading the Lakers to a league-leading defensive rating, of course. Gifton, what do you have to say about Frank Vogel and his performance for the Lakers since he's been hired? There was a lot of downturn.
Man, Frank's been doing it back to back. We see what happened last year with their defensive rating. We see what happened this year with their defensive rating. He's just sticking to his gut, sticking to his plan. Let's give him his flowers.
I think it's amazing. Yes, give him his flowers before it's gone.
Give that man his flowers.
He took a Pacers team. It definitely had some talent. He took it to a place where I feel like it shouldn't have been. Maybe it was a weak Eastern Conference, but I feel like he did.
No, I was gonna say like that Pacers team didn't really have no talent like that. If we're being real.
Oh, it did. George Hill in his prime, Danny Granger. Oh, a little bit at the end, right there.
Danny Granger kept getting hurt.
I know, but he was at the end of it. He still made a difference in the playoffs just for a second. And then you have Paul George in his prime.
Twofold Paul George.
You also had David.
West.
He went to
David West.
Thank you. He went to. He also had David West, and then you had a couple of who were the bench players off that team?
Lance
DJ
Stevenson,
Augustine,
DJ Augustine, Chris Copeland, and TJ Leaf.
That's a squad. Do you think it's just because they had playoff like exposure, or do you think it's actually because they were good players?
Playoff exposure.
I like the players in that era, what they were able to do. Frank Vogel was able to bring out the best out of everybody. Yeah. George Hill is good.
At that time, yes.
George Hill is good. Paul George was fantastic.
Yeah.
Roy Hibbert in that series is good.
He was great.
David West is a baller.
Yeah, he was.
Especially in that era.
Yep.
Come on, bro. That's 4 players.
And they had Lance Stevenson off the bench.
Ballers. And DJ Augustine's no joke. So all I got to say is that Pacers squad was good in the fact that, like, I feel like he brought out the most. As you're saying right now, you're kind of like, these guys aren't the best, but he brought them to the conference finals against the Heat team, took them to 7, a big 3 type stuff. Frank Vogel needs his flowers. It's awesome to see this Laker team just continue to rise and be the team that they are.
Yeah, it's definitely good to see the Lakers believe in a coach, because from D'Antoni to Mike Brown to Phil, like, shit was not looking good, man. Shit was not looking good when Phil left.
Yeah, no, it looked tough, and then they were trying to get him back and all that shit. It wasn't good. But let's get into the next one here. I wanted to bring this up. I actually seen it. It was from another NBA fan. This is on Twitter, at another NBA fan. All the other stuff we got basically from like NBA.com, just other headlines that everybody knows about, of course. But every team that has made it so far in the bubble, all the way to like the end, it looks like, because these are the 4. Oh, no, the Celtics made it to the bubble. That made it far in the bubble have had major injury struggles. The Celtics, the Heat, the Lakers, and the Nuggets. The league has left these teams out to dry, it says, and it's terrible to see players keep going down with injuries.
That's the game, bro. Like,
that's just part of it,
that's
right?
just the draw of the cards, man. That's how the cookie crumbles, bro.
So you don't think that the bubble has something to say about these injuries? You think that it has
What do you mean
chance?
by has something to say?
Because they participated, I couldn't say that word, in the bubble, right? And it's so close between the end of the bubble season and the beginning of this season that it actually created some more tension on these players' bodies, these athletes' bodies, on these men's bodies.
Okay.
So, do you think that had something to do with it, or do you think it's just like you're saying, it's just part of the game?
Okay, here's my thing. They all had a choice to sit out or not, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so whose fault is that?
Okay, no, I think you're right.
You had a choice. Like, hey, if y'all want to come down to Florida, come. But if y'all don't want to come, stay home. And there were a handful of players that stayed home.
So you're right. I think that if you think about it, like written on paper, yes, this is what it is. I feel like you can be unselfish in certain situations when it comes down to it. I don't think there was any kind of selfishness there.
No, there wasn't no selfishness. But
because everybody did have an option, like you're mentioning.
Yeah, there was no selfishness. There was no miscommunication. There was no nothing. So, like, it was fair, plain, loud, and clear. And they kept saying that all over ESPN.
Okay, but it's been known that the ratings are down. do you think, because of course there's so many stars that are gone. Now, when you think about it, though, should the NBA think about, let's say something elongates for lack of a better word, I hope that's an actual word, but it makes the season longer. Like, once again, something, God forbid, something else happens nowadays.
Yeah.
But, like, if it gets extended, would they think about having a longer period of time of, like, off season after this, because of they notice, like, there's an uptick into the people that did participate?
Yeah, because they're gonna buck, bro. They're gonna buck.
So you have
the Players Association is gonna buck.
Okay. I mean, I agree. I think it's something to really notice about. You always want to protect your product.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to these guys.
Like, ain't no way in hell the owner of the Bucks is like, I'm not going to let Giannis have like a 2-month off season and then go right back into another season. No way.
Let me say this much, and I think I want to I'll put a bow on it almost.
Ooh.
The amount of money that they were going to lose from that, like, it was like 1 month hiatus instead of starting
Wasn't it like $1 billion, if I'm not mistaken?
I think it was like the end of October, right?
Yeah.
And then it was like, we could start in January. So that's basically like 2 months. For 2 months, it was like $1 billion almost.
Yeah, they started on MLK Day.
So do they think that they lost $1 billion just by losing a couple of star players from these teams? I don't think so. I don't think they lost that much money when it comes to like ratings and stuff, or a future contract, because the contract stays the same. Like TV
the
rights
contract stays the same, but didn't everybody's contract had to get restructured because of COVID? No. I think that they had to pay like a certain fraction of it. Oh, okay.
We should do more research on that, but let's say that for
another
one.
Misspoke?
Yeah, you didn't misspeak, but it's good to question.
Yeah,
it's a fucking great question. But let's get into the next one. A little bit of NFL here.
Hit the fucking horns, Robbie!
Bum, 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 bum.
Da, da, da.
I think we just have this NFL sound.
Ooh, I like that one.
We about to use that one for the mock drafts coming soon.
New video.
That's an ad for Instagram right there.
Stay tuned.
But let's start off with the NFL kind of headlines here. We still have them in, those particular areas, but I think we're going to change it up a little bit more going down the future. But the Cardinals are loading up here, Gifton. We know this is your team. We know I got the Rams in the NFC West. Gifton, they just got James Conner to add to their running back committee. How do you feel about these Cardinals from Arizona?
I feel great, man. I feel great. Knowing that we're going to fuck up the division, knowing that we're going to pay the Rams a visit, knowing that we're going to pay the Seahawks a visit, knowing that we're going to pay everybody a visit, we're coming. And I'm saying we're like I'm a fucking Cardinals fan, but I'm not. But they're coming. They're coming. That's it. They got it on both sides, bro. They got it on the best of both worlds. They kept everybody in this added star.
That's me right now at this guy. Get his ass.
Fuck you. What side you on?
Let me tell you something. Look at this dude.
What? I'm not a Cardinals fan.
He's putting money into Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray and all of his new weapons, right? I'm telling you, dog. I think the Rams got it in the division still. We still have the best corner. We still have the best defensive player who's actually going through some charges here by fighting somebody outside the club. But we still got Aaron Donald. We still got Jalen Ramsey. We now have a new quarterback who's going to make the throws that Jared Goff could not.
Stick in the mud.
Oh, we'll see where it's at. With your calculated run, looking ass fucking Cardinals.
With your, I came from a cold ass, depressed city ass quarterback.
What?
Fuck Matt Stafford.
Nah, bro. He's gonna be great.
Okay.
He's gonna be great. Watch.
Bueno.
No. He's gonna be great.
I love
how I can. Yeah. Here, I'll play that one for you. But I love how I can control this because I get to just do everything and just do it on my side to help my argument, and you don't get
fuck
nothing.
Fuck you and your arguments. How about that one?
Oh, son of a bitch!
That's you right now.
That's you.
Me?
That's you.
Fuck it.
That's you.
The Cardinals, they're not winning the division. The Rams got them. Rams got a better defense. JJ SWAT ain't doing shit against us.
Okay.
The Browns. Speaking of linemen there, Jadaveon Clowney signed with the Browns. What a great addition. Aaron, El Jefe, shout out to El Jefe.
Hey.
He was actually predicting this 1 year too early. Just saying that Jadaveon with Myles Garrett, they're winning that division. So that's from him, not from me. Now for me, I don't think that they necessarily got the division. But this is amazing.
They got to another round with him. They're getting to another round with him.
No, okay, so they don't win their division, but they get to another playoff round.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, they won one.
I'd go as far as say they might win that division.
That's you. So for me, I don't think they win the division just because the Steelers are still a quality organization.
Oh, stop it! Stop!
Well, they started 11-0. They started 11-0, and they had a whole bunch of missed things, just missteps that made them terrible. But what I'm trying to say is that you still have Lamar Jackson, and then you have the Bengals who can still put up a fight, especially if Joe Burrow comes back, and he's actually good because he can still be a pocket quarterback. He just uses his legs as a secondary type of weapon.
Yeah, but they just lost
tertiary.
But they just lost AJ Green, so
AJ Green didn't make a difference last year for them either. He was fed up there. He's gonna make a difference on the Cardinals. I don't doubt it. But what I'm trying to say is that the Rams are still better. But let's get back to these Browns. Jadaveon Clowney mixed with Myles Garrett, matched with John Johnson, given with Denzel Ward, and then the other safety, I forget his name. I think that they can do a lot. I don't think that they're necessarily going to win the division. I think a lot of games are really hard to win in that division. Lamar Jackson has something to say. Offseason ain't over yet. We'll see what's going on going forward, but that's what I got to say about the Browns. Get it?
I like the addition of Jadaveon Clowney, especially the way that they went out last year. Like we were talking about a couple podcasts ago, Baker Mayfield had a prove-it year. He definitely proved it. What a great piece to add on the defensive end. That's it, really. We'll see.
The Browns.
No longer the shit stains.
And I guess, this is not last but not least. The next one is going to be pretty quick, but Julian Edelman.
And that concludes the podcast. Nah,
we have this man, Julian Edelman, retiring. Everybody's been arguing about Hall of Fame this, Hall of Fame that. Gifting just one word answer, yes or no. Is he a Hall of Famer? I'm surprised it takes you this long.
No, I know, because he has the stats behind it, so.
In the playoffs, maybe, but not the regular season.
I'm going to say no.
I say no. Now, Julian Edelman is a great man. If you don't know about him, undrafted, was not a wide receiver when drafted.
Story.
QB, I think he caught one pass in college.
Yep.
And then he became a 3-time Super Bowl champion. Very, very undersized when it comes to the NFL. Worked his ass off throughout everything. Is a very educational man when it comes to his religion. When he's Jewish, and he likes to. I've seen it twice already where he actually brings up being educated to somebody and trying to open up their mind, just to make them aware of certain cultures as well.
Yeah.
So, class act. Definitely does his business when it comes to clutch time and everything. What an amazing man. Not a Hall of Famer, unfortunately, but I think that he has other things coming to him. This is not the last time we're going to be hearing about Julian Edelman.
Tom,
especially with that guy around. Do you think
Tom,
like Rob Gronkowski said,
Tom,
what'd he say?
Tom,
there's a 69% chance that he joins the Buccaneers.
Tom,
he calling him, man. Crazy.
Tommy.
Now let's make it quick, Gifting. Well, why are you so quiet, bro? You're not excited?
Nah.
I just want to mention this part. It's pretty crazy.
What is it?
Apparently, this past season, home teams had a losing record for the first time in NFL history. 127, 128. So 127 wins, 128 losses, and one tie. as the home team. Is this something or nothing? Does this actually mean that the fans actually have some superpowers and does this also give more angst and benefits to Tom Brady and him like being able to get to that situation in the first place?
I think this just shows that the fans really have power throughout a game. Because, like, I can think back to when the Clippers were playing the Warriors in the playoffs, and there was a certain amount of Clippers fans that were in Oakland, but they came back from that 30-point loss because it might have been like 3,500 of a Warriors arena, bro. But I'm just saying, 3,500 fans made them play their ass off and come back from a 30-point deficit.
Yeah.
And they have no fans, and they're just getting fucking smoked every home game.
Yeah, you know what? The fans do have a great spot.
Fans have power.
Yes, in sports, and it's amazing. I love it that you can literally will your team to a win. There's definitely other things involved. Athletes play a huge part in it. It's not just the fans, but they do a big, big part. Now, what I have to say about this take, though, is I feel like, and I think this is proof, that you should praise Tom Brady for everything that he did in this season just a little bit more.
He said it, not me. I already knew.
And because I love greatness, and I like to point it out.
Tom Brady.
I didn't think he was going to do all that. Don't get me wrong. I thought Patrick Mahomes was going to be able to do more.
7 of them.
Didn't work out.
7.
I think he has 8 now.
No, 7. He's going for 8.
Going for 8 now. Yeah.
Got 7, going for 8.
So, Tom Brady and what he's able to do this year, I think that it just speaks more that like it wasn't anything with the fans. There was no external things going into that. Maybe at the Super Bowl, but we all know how dominant that Super Bowl was. There was no place for the fans in that one. But all the games leading into it, it was the best team that won. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, sir.
Like there's no other things that could have helped or take away from the actual game. They always preach in Seattle, look we have this fan base. We're able to use them. They give us power. It's electricity. It's electric in there. It's the loudest place. The 12th man. And they weren't there. And, they weren't there for a lot of other teams too. So I think you got to give more props to Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. And they did their job.
Tom Brady.
The best team won last year. Pretty intense.
Yep.
Does Julian Edelman join the Buccaneers? Gifton.
Tom.
I know he asked about it.
Tom.
Go ahead.
Tom.
Who?
Go get him. Make the call.
Tom Brady is the...
You're talking to the Rolex
wearing
diamond ring
wearing.
Wheeling dealing. Jet flying.
Oh, man.
And I'm having a hard time.
That's Tom Brady.
Goddamn right.
Now that's Tom Brady.
The greatest white man to ever do it.
It's amazing. So that's the show, Gifton. That's pretty much it. We're going to have a new thing next week as well as pretty much a similar format and a couple stories, one that Gifton will bring out, one that I will bring out as well. I hope you guys really enjoyed this new format of the show. More off the dome. We used our combined research, our combined feels, and we brought it into this one. Gifton, how was it for you?
Oh, man, this was a great one, man. Great experience, great experiment. And yeah, can't wait to do many more.
45.
45 of them,
45.
man. We're right here, bro.
And don't forget to
support you.
Y'all have a good night, everybody.